Well, I sure do thank everybody for joining us on tonight's call. I have muted the line one last time. You could hear that with so many people on the call, we were starting to get some very significant feedback. Anyway, for those of you on tonight's call, most of you know who we are. Obviously, we hope you know who we are. Our company is One Coach. Our mission is to help entrepreneurs and professionals grow their small business revenues so they can achieve financial freedom and live an extraordinary life. We are business growth specialists. Here at One Coach, we know there's three basic reasons why more than 95% of all businesses never reach their full potential. One, you're not doing the things you know you should be doing to grow your revenues every single day. Two, you don't have all the right skills and strategies to reach your full potential. And, well, thirdly, you don't have the right systems or support in place. So tonight, we're going to hear from our founder, John Assaraf. And John's going to share with us how our brain and the programming of our brain determines our success and things that we can do to dramatically increase our productivity. Now, John's a New York Times best-selling author. He's in the hit movie The Secret. He's been featured on ABC, NBC, CBS, Forbes, and was recently featured on Larry King Live and just a week or so ago on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. And John has spent the last 25 years studying the brain and how it affects our success. And he's also studied the natural laws of the universe, how they apply to business as well. But tonight, John is going to share with us the same thing he did for Microsoft earlier this year, where they spread it out to 83,000 small business owners. So we're really looking forward to it. It is my pleasure to have the founder of One Coach, John Assaraf, on tonight's call. So, John, are you with us?
I sure hope I'm the founder of John, too. Hi, everybody.
Hey, John, I tell everybody the highlights and all the things that have, these are some of the big peaks in life, being on Larry King Live, Ellen DeGeneres, and obviously, the callers, most of them recognize the fact that you've built 4 multi-million-dollar companies, and obviously you're incredibly successful, but it wasn't always like that, was it?
Well, it wasn't always like that, and I want to say hi to everybody, and thanks for joining us again. If this is the second time you're with us in the last couple of weeks because you were on last week's call, thanks for joining us back. Hopefully we did a great job to open up your eyes and ears on some of the things that may be holding you back from success. And I can share with you that when I was in my teens, which is about 25 years ago, I got myself into a ton of trouble and was operating on the wrong side of the law. And for those of you who've read my book, The Street Kid's Guide to Having It All, the street kid part came from spending a lot of time on the streets and really doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But that's really the only way I thought I could do well in life until I found some mentors who really opened my eyes up to the potential that really laid inside of me. I knew at a deep level, Mike, and everybody listening, that there was something that I could be doing more with my life, that I was capable of doing more. I just didn't know how, and I really didn't know why I was doing the things that I was doing that was getting me into a lot of trouble. And that's really when I was blessed. When I was in my early 20s, I ended up with something called ulcerative colitis. And that was ulcers in my colon. I was taking 25 pills a day and taking steroid shots twice a day. And I got introduced to the mind-body connection, and really I started to study the brain after 5 weeks of following, meditation and really doing visualizations and eating properly and starting to exercise. I was able to cure myself of a severe disease that almost led me to having part of my colon out. And the reason I tell you that is I just got fascinated with the power of the brain, and that led me into understanding the connection between the brain and the universe, and that our brain was just an electromagnetic switching station that took information from what we call the external world, and we deciphered it and gave it meaning and then took action based upon what we felt about the incoming information or about the way we got programmed. And so I say this because I'm a student of what has worked. And when I built my first company, Remax of Indiana, I was 26 years old. I grew that company to just over $4 billion in sales with 1,500 salespeople. We're over $5 billion now. I still own the company but don't run it. But what happened was a few years back, I was really wondering why we could bring in speakers and consultants to do seminars and buy their books and buy their CDs and tapes. And people would be nodding their heads and they took copious notes, but they'd never apply anything. I was just blown away. I'd spend probably $250,000 a year on that. And I started to do a lot of brain research after I took my last company public. I had 3 years of downtime. And because of the latest research, in brain scan imaging and our ability to see right into the human brain, we've been able to discover a lot about our brains and a lot about why we do what we do, why we don't do the things we know we should be doing. And for those of you that are on the call who are like me and like everybody else in our company, there are things that we know we should be doing that we're not doing. And that just bothers me. And so I want to personally get better every week, every month at doing more of what I know I should be doing. And so with that said, last week, for those of you who weren't on the call, we are going to make the call available. We've had so many people. We had over 1,500 people register for last week's call. A lot of people couldn't make the call because we only had 1,000 lines. And I know we had about 1,000 registrants for tonight's call, so hopefully all of you are on here. But last week we talked about why your brain's responsible for your revenues and your income. We talked about why your genetics and childhood programming is limiting your success. We talked about how to determine if you have the right beliefs you need to succeed. And we talked about something that's really very, very important and dear to my heart is the difference between goal setting and goal achieving. Tonight we're going to talk about 2 or 3 things. I've got a couple bonus things I want to talk with you about and share with you. And the first one is, how to use one of the parts of your brain called the reticular activation system, which is just a stupendous tool that each one of you can use, and I'll share with you how to use it. But here's the one thing to think about. Yours and my brain is the most sophisticated piece of equipment known on the planet. If we compared it to an F-16 fighter jet, which is one of the most expensive toys out there that does incredible things in the universe or in the sky, if I ask you what does a fighter pilot have to know about flying that plane? And the answer is everything. A fighter pilot has to know how to fly it in daytime, nighttime, rain, sleet, hail, makes no difference. Why? Because their life is on the line. Well, I'm going to suggest something to you that you may or may not like, and that is, well, guess what? Every day while you're in business, your livelihood's on the line. Your family's livelihood's on the line. Your retirement plan's on the line. The quality of your life is on the line. And if you don't know that you have 6 intellectual conscious functions, 3 non-conscious functions, something called the reticular activation system, something else called the psychocybernetic mechanism, and that they all belong to you, if you don't know how they work, why are you surprised that you're crashing and burning, some of you, or that you're not really achieving the levels of success that you can be? And so we're going to talk about a couple of the components of the brain that will really help you. But for me, it's really the last frontier. It's not the oceans. It's not the space. It's the brain. And fortunately, I've been playing with some of the best neuroscientists, brain researchers in the world, and quantum physicists in the world to really help make sense of it all. And so I'm going to give you guys a formula, and then I'm going to start getting right into the brain. Write this down. My vision plus my passion and purpose plus my strategies and tactics plus my support equals my business and life success. One more time.
Yeah, exactly.
My vision plus my passion and purpose plus my strategies and tactics plus my support equals success. I'll share with you step by step why these are so critical, and then we'll get right into the brain. This is the bonus part that we didn't tell you you're going to get. But vision, when you hold on to the vision that you want to achieve in your business, there's a couple things that happen, and this is what's so critical. The universe operates by exact precision and law. Not one electron is out of place. Not one. So if the universe operates by exact precision and law, and everything in the universe happens just in time, every time, then our vision sets up a couple of things. Number one, it sets up the vibration of 100 trillion cells in your body, each of which release a frequency that correlates or corresponds to the vision you are holding on to. If you are uncertain, unclear, unprepared with your vision, that is the electromagnetic frequency that you are sending out from every cell in your body. Now, that may not mean much to you except for this. What we're learning about quantum physics is that you are creating a resonance field that attracts to you, brings to you everything that resonates with the electromagnetic field you are sending out. This is not foo-foo stuff. This is all research, documented, proven, Harvard, Stanford, Princeton. I can go through the gamut. So you are emitting the frequency that correlates with your vision, number one. That's the brain frequency and the body's frequency. Number two, your passion and purpose, what you love to do. We are now finding out through some of the research at the Heart Math Institute that your heart, the thing that really pumps all the blood around your body, your heart is what's responsible for another frequency, electromagnetic frequency, that when you combine your vision, that's probably your visual cortex in your brain, with your passion in your heart, you are multiplying the electromagnetic field that you are sending out into the universe by 100. Your heart actually has 100 times the frequency. So if you are working only on strategies and tactics, but you have no vision for your company, small or large, and you are really not passionate or have a purpose in your life or your business, you've got part of the equation wrong. Number 3, strategies and tactics. If you are building a business, you must absolutely understand a couple of things. And before I give you those couple of things, I want to ask you a question. Are you interested in building a highly successful business that works for you, or are you committed? Here's the difference, folks. If you're interested, you're going to do what's convenient and come up with all the excuses in the world. If you're committed, you're going to do whatever it takes. I suggest that you do whatever it takes, because the price of not fulfilling your dreams is much more expensive. Regrets weigh tons. Regrets weigh tons. And so I suggest that you really make a commitment to your success, which means you're going to need to learn the skills and the strategies to grow your business. Doesn't matter if your business is in selling juices, in massage therapy, in washing cars, in psychiatry. We've got clients all over the world in multitudes of businesses. And then you're going to talk about your support. Your support means your family. Your support means your friends. Your support means the people that you have working with you to help you achieve your success strategies. So vision plus passion and purpose and strategy tactics plus support or your environment equals massive success. Now, I'd like you to also write this down. It is not about understanding the practice of building a great business. It is not about understanding the practice of building a great business. It's about practicing the understanding of building a great business. It's about practicing the understanding of building a great business. There's a part of your brain called the conscious mind that's responsible for gathering information. It's a great part of your brain. It is not, however, as we talked about last week, the part of your brain that causes you to take action. And without the proper information in the right order impressed into the part of the brain that takes action, all you will do is gather more information, and you will get more frustrated and meet with week in, week out, month in, month out of more information in your brain and not enough money in your bank account. And so we're going to talk about a couple things tonight in conjunction with that. One is about the psychocybernetic mechanism. I'm sorry, not the psychocybernetic mechanism, but that's something you do need to know about. One is about a very, very simple piece of the brain called the reticular activation system. We know about this because of the conscious and the non-conscious part of the brain, and where every single signal that comes in from the external world passes through in order to get deciphered in your brain, which also determines what you do with that information. And here's how it works. We have different sensory factors, or our common senses: hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. Those we use to gather information from our external world for the most part. When a sensory input comes in through one of those senses, it goes, let's say in the area of sight, it goes through the eyes to the back of the brain to the visual cortex, or the occipital cortex, and then it gets deciphered as, is this important to me or not? We receive information at the rate of about 400 billion, with a B, bits of information per second. But you and I are only aware of approximately 2,000 of those 400 billion. And so what are we aware of? What is this 2,000? What does your brain do with all this information? First and foremost, the way this reticular activation system works is if it is important to you, if it is life-threatening, you are made very quickly aware of it through something called the reptilian brain. It sends a signal to you and says, hey, there's some danger or potential danger here. Watch out. Your auto-response system comes in, and it's the fight or flee system. What this system also does is if there's something that you are worried about, such as the lack of money, such as the lack of business, such as the lack of anything or any fears that you might have, your brain, this part of your brain, the reticular activation system, actually will bring that to your forefront because we gather information at this part of the brain, which is non-conscious. You're not even aware of it. We get information passed to our conscious part of our brain up to about a half a second, as much as half a second after the information has been put into our brain through the senses. So we're actually living a bit in the past. So here's the way this reticular activation system works. If you are focusing, as I mentioned, on the lack or limitations or the negative or bad results in your business or your life, and that's what you're focusing on or worried about, your brain will actually find that 800 times faster than anything else in your external world, 800 times faster. Now here's the good news. Whatever it is that is on your important list, your brain will also find 800 times faster than your conscious brain cells. There are a group of brain cells called the reticular activation cells, okay? And that is what these cells do. They gather the information from our external world, and they send a message to our consciousness saying, hey, pay attention to this. It travels 800 times faster, these cells do, than any other cells in the body. So if you want to compare this to Google, we're looking at cells that actually will assimilate or transport information about 160,000 miles per second. So how do you then really start to train the reticular activation system to focus on what you want? In our Business Mastery program, we teach our business owners a lot about the brain and really a lot about how to train their brains properly. One of the first things we do is we teach them how to be aware of the negative results from their past thinking and past actions, and we teach them how to now focus and program what they need to have in this part of the brain so that your brain works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, I want to give you an example of how this works. Imagine that you're sleeping and you have a baby in the house. And it's your night, if you have a spouse, to be responsible for the baby. And let's say you're sleeping and your spouse is sleeping or your significant other is sleeping or you're babysitting. It doesn't matter. There could be cars going by. There could be airplanes flying by. There could be sirens going by outside. But because the baby's health and well-being is your responsibility that night, as soon as that baby's heartbeat changes and their breathing changes or a small little comes out of the room 25 feet away from you, these non-conscious brain neurons or brain cells pick up information 20, 30, 50, 100 feet away faster than any of your conscious cells. Why? Because you have given it a command to say that this is important to me. I am responsible for this baby. So here's an exercise for each one of you. Every day, from here to eternity, I want you to start your days with a couple things. Number one, you make sure that every cell in your body is activated for success through an exercise of gratitude, otherwise known as love, the L word, love, yes. We've said it on a business conference. You're allowed to say that. Why? Because love is the highest vibration that's ever been recorded on any kinesiology tests or if you do any research on what the highest vibration is. Every animal seeks it, plants seek it, humans seek it. Without it, we are deprived. We do not grow mentally properly. We seek it because it's the highest vibration on the planet that we're aware of. And so if you start every day with something you're grateful for, that puts your body and your mind in the universe in the right vibration. That's number one. Number two, what is it that you want? What is your vision? What do you want to achieve? Not what you think you can achieve, not what you've achieved in the past, not what's going wrong. What are the 2 or 3 things that are the most important to you in your business? So if you start to give that command every single day, and you can do it in the morning, you could do it in the afternoon, you could do it all day long. This is what I'm focusing on, finding more clients. Clients are finding their way to me. That is the command you're going to give your brain. See, I'm going to go back to saying it's your brain. You need to master it. If you don't master it, guess what? You'll be at the mercy of every external circumstance on the planet. You don't have to react to anything that happens around you. And so the fastest way for you to activate the reticular activation system is through repetition of what you want, not focusing on what you don't want. Because if you're focusing, worrying, doubts, fears, and anxieties, if you're focusing on that, worrying is a prayer for what you don't want. If that's what you focus on, that is what your brain is going to find you and bring forth to you. Your external world is nothing but a reflection of what you are thinking about at a conscious or non-conscious level. So that is, our friends, the I keep saying psychocybernetic mechanism. That's another part of the brain that we'll talk about probably next week. But the reticular activation system is nothing more than a group of cells that manage every sensory input that comes in from the external world. And if you are focusing on the negative in your world, in your life, then you are going to be seeing it and attracting it. Now, Mike, what I want to do is talk about how people can double or triple their productivity within a month. One of the first things we do with our business mastery clients is really help them understand that they have the ability to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple their incomes in 12 months. And I say this not as a carrot, but you'll understand how in just a moment. And I look at my career and how I've been able to build companies. I don't look at myself as being smarter than the next guy. I look at myself as somebody who learned the right information in the right order, and I had enough reason to take action because my world wasn't what I wanted. My parents didn't have a lot of money. My father was a cab driver. God bless him, loving, caring man without huge education, grade 3. My mother didn't go to school. And we weren't poor, but we certainly weren't rich. We had food on the table every night. I hated going to the stores to buy the clothes that I did, so I made a decision when I was in my teens that, by golly, no matter what, I'm going to become wealthy. And so I asked myself, in order to become wealthy, maybe I can learn from wealthy people. Maybe I can learn about business. Maybe I can learn about thinking. Maybe I can learn more about myself and become more so I can have more. And so for 25 years, I've been studying this, but more importantly, I've been applying it. So I'm not suggesting that you guys do anything that I haven't done. I was fortunate that I was able to become very wealthy by the time I was 30, and that was by learning what I should be doing. What were the skills and the strategies that I could apply to build a business that would work for me, as opposed to me working like a dog all the time to make money. It was never ending. And I came across some work that you're all probably familiar with, and it was based on the work that Vilfredo Pareto in the 19th century. He was an Italian economist in Switzerland that studied wealth amongst people in Europe and then around the world. And he came up with something known as the 80-20 rule, or otherwise known as the Pareto principle, which states that 20% of your causes account for 80% of your results, or 20% of what you do really results with 80% of your income or revenues. And here's some things for you to think about. 5% of the population of the world generates 96% of the wealth. 11% of a venture capital firm's deals generates 80% of their total profits. 5% of all internet sites generate 80% of all web traffic. 15% of a bank's customers generate 80 to 90% of their profits. 1% of all product failures in companies results in 99% of all product liability claims. Excuse me. And here's what we know about business owners. You, me, and everybody else. 20% of your activities generate 80% of your revenues. 20% of your day-to-day activities are generating 80% of your revenues. And so I know you're busy. I know you've got so many things to do. Answer emails, answer the phone, find clients, take care of clients, sales, marketing, legal, finance. Yeah, those are all things that have to happen in a business. And when you're a solopreneur, it's overwhelming. It's beyond overwhelming. It's stressful. It causes uncertainty, causes doubts. And so the question is, if this rule is true, and I could guarantee you all, it is true. We've analyzed enough businesses. We've helped thousands of people look at their businesses. If 20% of your actions are responsible for 80% of your business, of your revenues, that means that some of the things that you do are actually 16 times more productive than the other things that you do. So if you want to increase your revenues in your business 16 times by doing less, not more, you have to, as quickly as possible, understand what are the activities that are the highest income producing activities for you, okay, which really give you 16 times more revenue versus your lowest income producing activities, which is what we call the trivial many, okay. Those are what most entrepreneurs are focused on, the trivial many versus the vital few. So again, your highest income producing activities, if you're basing your income, I'm going to give you a hypothetical example. And if we were thinking about somebody who's earning just $100,000 a year, and let's assume that there are 50 types of activities in any business, in sales, marketing, operations, finance, administration, human resources, internet, online, offline. You must know as a business owner what your highest income producing activities are. Do you know why? Because 20% of 100,000, okay, or 20% of 50 activities means that the highest income producing activities for you are $8,000 per activity. The vital few activities that you could be, should be, and must be focused on are worth $8,000 for you to accomplish or to make sure is accomplished based on just $100,000 a year revenue. Doing the lowest income producing activities produces about $500 per activity. Now, what I'm not saying that's $500 per hour. All right, but $8,000, there are certain things that when you do, you're getting paid $8,000, and other things that when you do, you're getting $500 per hour. And so what you have to learn as a business owner is how to focus your business and yourself on the highest income or impact producing activities and outsource, barter, hire everything else. So how do you do that? How do you take yourself out of the treadmill, off of the treadmill, and focus on the highest income producing activities? Number one, you've got to understand, okay, what are your personal highest income producing activities? That's what you need to know. And you start off, number one, by laying out what are the different business activities that are in my business. If you broke it out into sales and marketing and finance and management and maybe manufacturing, you could break it out into some of the general parts of business. And then you've got to lay over your unique abilities. What are you qualified more than anybody else in your particular business? If you're a solopreneur, guess what? You've got to stop doing the things that you work at, and you've got to start doing more of the things you play at. You've got to start hiring people, bartering with people who play at things you have to work at. So here's some questions for you if you want to know some of the answers. And again, this is some stuff that we take all of our clients through as one of the ways we start with them before we even put their revenue or help them with their revenue plans or identifying their ideal client profiles and identifying their marketing plans. We have to understand what is your personal highest income producing or your business's highest impact producing activities. So here's a few questions for you. Number one, what do you play at? What is it that you really play at? Because you don't want to work. I don't want to work. I want to play. I want to, I'm here in San Diego. It's dark out right now. It's 5:30. I want to be playing. I don't want to be working. Do you? No, you want to play. So let's get you back to doing what you love to do, and let's help you figure out a way to stop doing the stuff you shouldn't be and don't like doing. That's number one. Here's a couple other questions for you. What would you do whether you got paid for it or not? What would you do whether you got paid for it or not? Another way to maybe look at what your unique abilities are is what drives you crazy when others don't do it? What drives you crazy when others don't do it and you pick up on it right away? The reason you pick up on it right away is because it's on your important list and your brain's always searching for the stuff that you're familiar with or find very important. So what drives you crazy when others don't do it? And here's another question. What are you naturally good at? What are your natural propensities and tendencies? See, there was a study that was done about 3 months ago. 72% of the people polled all over the United States thought that they should strengthen their weaknesses. 72% said they should strengthen their weaknesses. You got to be out of your mind to strengthen stuff you don't like or you're not good at. You want to strengthen your strengths and the stuff that you're naturally good at, and you want to hire, barter the rest. So in summary, what you want to look at is what are my unique abilities? What are my business's highest income producing activities? Okay? How do I outsource, or how do I bring people, okay, into my company or to help me where I can outsource my lowest income or impact producing activities? How do I hire employees who can take some of that stuff off of you? And if you then have the time to work on your highest impact and highest income producing activities, that's how you can afford to do it versus some of your mentality saying, well, I can't afford to do it because I don't have any money. The reason you don't have any money is because you're not doing the right things in the right order. And it's the thinking that has to change first before the behavior does. The reason you don't have money is because of the past thinking and behavior. You keep thinking the same way, you're going to have the same results. And if you want to know very, very quickly what you've been thinking about, what you are conditioned, what you are wired to achieve, you are wired to achieve what your revenue or income was this year. Right now, the end of December, the middle of December, what your income was this year is what you are wired or conditioned to achieve. Nothing less, nothing more. Now, here's what I didn't say. I didn't say you don't know how to make more money. I didn't say you're not capable of making more money. But if you want to know what you are conditioned to do, you've already established that because you have an R in your life. R is result. So you tell me what your revenues was this year in your business. I'll tell you what you're conditioned to achieve. Not what you're capable of. But if you don't reprogram your brain at the non-conscious level, if you don't add the right strategies and tactics, if you don't add the right support teams and start thinking differently, you are pretty much at the pinnacle of where you're going to be for the next 2 or 3 years. Yes, you might have some incremental gains this year versus last year or next year versus this year. But you are not going to display the real quantum leap, the real advancement in your business revenues and personal income and lifestyle unless you make some changes at the neurological level, unless you make some changes on the strategies and tactics level, unless you surround yourself with the support teams you need to help you think differently and act differently, because it's the behavior. Remember, it's not about understanding the practice of building a great business. It's about practicing the understanding. And most of you, like me, okay, and I'm just as conditioned as you are, just conditioned to think differently and to behave differently. I'm still conditioned, and I work on my mental conditioning every single day. We created something called the neural reconditioning process that's been looked at by some of the best psychiatrists, neurologists, neurophysiologists in the world. They're blown away by it. So we've created something called the neural reconditioning process to help change the brain easily and consistently so that the predictable transformation is there. And then Murray and I have built 17 multi-million-dollar companies from zero to as much as a couple $100 million in revenue, from zero to IPO on NASDAQ, from zero to over $5 billion in sales. So we know a lot of the things that you need. We've created some great systems and processes and a network of business owners around the world who are entrepreneurs, who are really interested about having great hearts, having great businesses, making a difference in the world, and more importantly, living to their potential. And so I am 5 minutes past where I was supposed to be, but I thought that was worth it, and I hope you didn't mind me going as fast as I humanly could and getting a little bit of what's in my head out to you. Mike, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Well, John, thank you very much. As always, getting information from you, if everybody on the call thinks back to when they were a little kid and they took a little drink out of a water hose, getting information from John Assaraf is like trying to drink out of a fire hydrant. So, John, thank you. That's literally life-changing information. And for those of you on the call, we actually have clients that have experienced what John described with the Pareto principle. We call it 16X when we teach it to our clients, and they've literally increased their revenues 16-fold. So, it's an amazing thing, and it takes applying it. And, one of the things, the investment to belong to the One Coach Business Mastery Program is one of the biggest reasons that I get excited about One Coach. You know, the value in the One Coach Business Mastery Program is life-changing. It is simply astounding. John, I have people tell me all the time we're crazy for not charging more for business mastery. And you know, and you can tell everybody on this call, I've told you repeatedly that we must raise our prices. We deliver so much value in the Business Mastery Program, it's literally life-changing. In fact, everyone on the call, when you join One Coach, you're going to have the materials to not only take your business to where it needs to be, but to make sure you're where you need to be so that can happen. I want everybody on tonight's call to think for a moment about why you got into business and how important it is for you to be in business. What's your end goal? How many of you got into business because you wanted to achieve financial independence? Well, that's what One Coach shows you exactly how to do. What does financial independence mean to you? Does it mean you actually get to live the lifestyle of your dreams? Do you get to live where you want to live? Do you get to put your children in the schools you want to put them in? You can go on dream vacations. You're able to provide for your family abundantly. You can give to the charities of your choice. You can help others. What does financial independence mean to you? And what is it costing you not to have it? You see, One Coach is all about your achieving your highest and greatest potential personally, professionally, and in your business. Now, rather than go through a big laundry list of all the things that we provide in Business Mastery, you can see all that for yourself at www.onecoach.com/1214. I'm simply going to point out to you that by now you know you need to do something different, and One Coach is that answer. John and Murray's commitment to helping entrepreneurs and professionals raise their small business revenues so they can achieve financial independence and live extraordinary lives, along with the overall vision of One Coach, which is to help 1 million entrepreneurs and professionals around the world achieve that dream, it's driven us to price the Business Mastery Program at a point where anyone that's committed to growing their business simply cannot afford not to do this. Your investment in the Business Mastery Program for an entire year is only $3,000. And while I told you I wouldn't give you a big laundry list of things that we provide, I will tell you that your membership in Business Mastery does include a weekly 60 to 90-minute Ask the Experts call hosted by John and Murray themselves. You'll actually have the opportunity, along with other Business Mastery members each week, to ask your specific question. Just think about what it means to have access to two guys that have built 17 multi-million-dollar businesses to help you grow yours. That alone is easily worth the entire investment in the One Coach Business Mastery Program. And folks, as if that isn't good enough already, here at One Coach, we didn't want the money to be an excuse not to join, so we put together a simple payment plan that allows you to join One Coach for 12 payments of $300. So you have a choice. You can save $600 and pay for the entire year up front, or you can use our easy payment plan, whichever fits your budget the best. When it's all said and done with by now, you know you need to do something different. You can join One Coach and take you and your business to the next level, or you can continue to do what you've been doing and get the same results. By now, you know that what that frustration feels like when you continue to do what you've been doing and you need to do something different. Now, we know this works. We've taken 1,500 entrepreneurs and professionals through the process, and the results are predictable and amazing. We are so confident in our Business Mastery Program, we'll give you a full 30 days to check it out. We stand behind it with an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. Join One Coach today. We'll ship you our foundation self-study material right away so you can begin establishing the right neural pathways for your success. You'll have access to all the business building strategies in our members-only area of the One Coach website. You can access John and Murray on the Ask the Expert call, and if for any reason, or no reason at all, you decide to cancel in your first 30 days, we'll simply give you all your money back and have you keep the materials we sent you. Right now, if you sign up, we have our 3-day live Mind, Marketing, and Millions workshop in February. Now, this conference will get you on the right track towards professional and business growth. It's live, it's dynamic, it's highly interactive. and it's going to teach you how to use the neural reconditioning process to manifest your goals, dreams, and aspirations. The workshop is included in your Business Mastery membership. So if you're ready right now, go to onecoach.com/1214 and enroll today. By joining the Business Mastery program today, you'll be sending a strong signal to your brain that building your business is important to you, and One Coach will show you how to do the rest. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So go to www.onecoach.com/1214 and enroll today. Now, if you have any questions about the Business Mastery program, send an email to questions@onecoach.com. That's questions with an S. So be sure to send your name, your phone number, and the best time to reach you along with your question, and we'll get back to you. I want to thank you for being on tonight's call, and if you'll press *0 right now, we have a little time here. We'll actually take some calls, some questions, and we'll do a little Q&A. John, are you still here?
I am, but what I'd like to know, Mike, number one, for those of you who decide to join tonight, something that I just realized is our event, as you mentioned, is just around the corner. It's 6-7 weeks from now, and that's one of 6 events we're doing next year. We're doing 2 business conferences and 4 Mind Marketing Millions conferences. If anybody joined tonight, we'd extend that money-back guarantee until after the event for you so that you really risk nothing. And it's a 3-day event, and people were paying $3,000 just for the events about a year ago, and so it didn't include all the other things that's included. So that's number one. And then what I would love to do is I would just love to get a little bit of positive feedback from you all, is if we can unmute the lines for 1 second. If you enjoyed the call, just let me know for a second. Yeah. Did you enjoy that? Yeah. Hit your star key. Hit the star key if you enjoyed it.
Great, thank you.
All right, stay on. Okay, you can stay on now. Stay on. That's what it sounds like when 1,000 people register for the call. So obviously we're doing something that's working. So thank you all. Number one, I've got to know that after I'm sitting here in my office and I'm sweating and I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. So I got to hear a little bit of feedback. So, Mike, I'm totally open to taking some Q&A. So if you have some questions, we have time for a few of them. We'll stick around and answer some of your questions, either about the Business Mastery Program, about anything we talked about tonight. What I would like you to do is keep it to tonight's topic, please. So it's whether it's multiplying your effectiveness or a little bit about the brain. We'll ask the questions. We've got the operator standing by, and we'll take a few questions. So hit *0, and you'll be put in a queue, and hopefully we can take your questions.
So, operator, do we have any questions at this time?
Yes, we do. Our first question comes from Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey.
Hi, Jim. I saw the movie The Secret. I thought it was a phenomenal movie. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jim. What do you do? Where are you from?
I'm actually from Buffalo, and I work in the healthcare industry at the moment.
Great. I used to live in Mississauga, Ontario, just down the street from you.
Really?
Used to. What's your question, buddy?
Yeah, question for you. On your vision board in the movie that you showed, one of the things you had beside your house was how to beat the tax man legally.
You know what? They actually superimposed that video. All I did was send them a picture of my vision board of my house, and they superimposed it on their own board. So that actually wasn't a picture of my own board.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So I did see that as well. I do actually have my boards right here in front of me in my office, but I saw that also, and I didn't like that, how to beat the tax man legally.
Yeah. How often do you look at your vision board?
It's in my office all day long. So from the time I walk into my office to here, it's here with me. I look at my vision board, which is one great way just to get the reticular activation system programmed, probably a couple times a day for maybe a minute or two now.
Okay. And how often do you do affirmations? Because you talked about those in the course this evening.
Every single day.
Every day.
I have them laminated, and I do them every single day. And affirmations have got to be written in what we call a positive language, and that's one of the things that we teach people is how to write the right declarations of affirmations so your brain actually really absorbs it. We've got the implicit memory system in the brain and the explicit memory system in the brain, and if you don't write them out properly and practice them properly, you're wasting your time.
And do you have more than one affirmation that you do daily?
I've got about 20 of them that I do, yes.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Thanks a ton. Next question, please.
Our next question comes from Peter. Go ahead, Peter.
Hey, Peter, where are you from and what do you do?
Oh, hi, I'm Peter Guzman. I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Currently driving over the road. I'm just occupying that space till I get on track here. The question I have is, do you have to have a business to do this business management course?
Well, if you don't have a business, we're going to be teaching you strategies and tactics. We're going to be teaching you how to identify your ideal client profile. We're going to be teaching you how to differentiate yourself from the competition so you stop looking like vanilla like everybody else. We're going to teach you how to create your revenue plans and how to create your marketing plans. So, that's why the course is a year, is so you can really understand the fundamentals of building a business, the foundation you need to retrain your brain to a new level of awareness, and then offer you the support through our live events, through our webinars, our conference calls, our Ask the Experts calls. So if you're looking at, starting a business very, very soon, that would be probably the earliest I would suggest that you really think about joining our program. But if you don't have a business, 95% of our calls are about business related, whether it's internet marketing or sales process. We did last night. We worked with our clients last night on developing a sales process. So if you don't have a client or you don't have a process that you need to understand how somebody makes a buying decision to buy your product or service and what are the critical elements that you need to understand about how they buy, it really probably is not the program for you. As much as I'd love to have you as a friend and a client, I would wait till you've got a business.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I also want to thank you for the idea of the vision board. I definitely got one up.
Good.
And I also want to just thank you for the clarity of the way you presented this tonight. It's been really powerful.
Thank you so very much.
Take care now.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Our next question comes from David. Go ahead, David.
John, howdy. David down here in Florida. I'm in the real estate business.
Hey, David.
John, I was wondering what support you guys offer in mentoring and coaching other than the weekly calls that you guys have.
Great.
Once I become involved with you guys, should I move forward with it? Is there a step 2, a phase 2, where, what's really involved more than what you've told us about?
Great question. Well, obviously our entry-level program is the Business Mastery Program at $3,000 for the year right now, which includes 2 live business conferences, 1 Mind Marketing Millions event, and all of the ancillary support that we have. We also start people off with 105 minutes with one of our in-house business advisors to get them started on the right track so they understand how to apply some of the self-study material that we have and how to really take the most out of the program. We do have additional programs, as you can imagine, where people could buy what we call plus services. And here's what we don't do. We don't say, you need 100 hours or you need 25 hours. Everything that we do is customized based on what people need. There's too many people selling stuff to people that they don't need. And so before we recommend any other additional programs, I think it makes sense to say, what are you looking to achieve? What are your financial resources? What are your intellectual resources? How big is your vision? How big is your goal? Think of it this way. For somebody to give anybody on this call a prescription without a diagnostic is reasonable malpractice. It's a bunch of crap. And so the first thing to understand is, what are your goals? If you came to us and said, listen, I want to make $1 million a year and I want to invest $5,000, I'd say, listen, when you can find a company to help you do that in $5,000, let me know because I'll do it as well. And so it just depends on what the needs are. We have plus services. We have clients who've invested $5,000 with us. We have clients who've invested $500,000 with us. And so it just depends on what people need, and that's how we really like to work. But we have additional products, not products, but programs people could buy, and that is to work with one of our business advisors. In the next 6 weeks, we're going to start franchising all over the country, and we'll have business advisors that follow the one-coach process that Murray and I have used to build company after company after company, and they'll be proficient at taking people through the one-coach process. So, yes, we will have more services and more products for people to use, but it's based on what is it that you need as opposed to making a sale.
Right, I understand. Now, do your advisors are they contracted monthly, hourly? How does all that work?
Usually our advisors are working in blocks of time. So our clients will purchase blocks of time, but we have master business advisors who are more expensive because they understand strategies and tactics for much more sophisticated companies. We have our business advisors are in-house that work with our clients that really need to understand the one-coach process on how do you develop a USP, how do you develop a client profile, how do you use the foundation program to really train the brain, how do you create the buyer's decision-making process, how do you create a marketing plan. So it just depends on the level of expertise that you need as a client is who we will determine you'll work with.
I understand. So I can get more details by contacting your office then.
You got it, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. I think we've got time for about 2, maybe 3 more questions.
Our next question comes from Oliver. Go ahead, Oliver.
Hey, Oliver.
Hey, Oliver.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, but I'm going to get better. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I think...
Don't hang in. You can't hang in. Make it happen. Where are you from, Oliver, and what do you do?
I am from New Jersey, and I'm a developer in the Caribbean.
Oh, beautiful.
One of the things that I wanted to know was what are your resources as far as the networking aspect of your business?
Great question. We have on our member site, we have forums. We've got phenomenal networking that happens at all of our events where we network with each other. We've got something that we created called a super networking process called Super Networking Accelerates Potential, where we help people identify exactly what it is that they need after we actually go through our events. We help people identify the 3 or 4 things that you absolutely need, okay, to build your business. Then we introduce you to people all over the facility that we have, obviously the hotel, and you say, okay, great, here's, my name's Oliver, I'm a developer in the Caribbean, I build these types of houses, here's what I want, and here's what I want, meaning my vision and my goals, here's what I need, and then we have a SNAP program where you'll meet probably about 100 people in a 90-minute period of time. Wow. And people leave with phenomenal contacts for resources, for money, for sales, for marketing. So we are huge on networking, huge on masterminding. And again, what we've done is when Murray and I decided to build One Coach, we said if we could build any company in the world, taking our talents and our loves and our passions, what would it be? And it said, we'd give back to entrepreneurs who want to build their companies, who want to live extraordinary lives, who want to achieve financial freedom, and we're going to take the best of what we've enjoyed in the last 25 years. And that was networking, masterminding, growing, learning, sharing, giving, and that's what we've done.
I think it's a phenomenal program.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping that I can help to introduce it to the Caribbean also.
Good. Well, I hope you can too.
I'll be getting in touch with you guys.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good night. We've got 2 more. I'm going to 2 more.
Our next question comes from Liette. Go ahead, Liette.
Hi, Liette.
Oh, hi, Liette. Hi, John.
Where are you from
I'm a realtor. Pardon?
Where are you from and what do you do?
I'm from Mississauga. And
oh,
I'm
my
a
goodness.
realtor.
I used to live in
And
Burnham
I sold your house 20 years ago.
Oh, you what?
I sold your house 20 years ago.
Oh, goodness
on
gracious.
Galbraith.
Oh, my goodness
I know.
2024 Galbraith.
A friend of mine from... Pardon?
I remember the address, 4024 Galbraith.
That's right. Isn't that something?
Well, nice
I
to
heard
have
you
you
were very successful.
Ago. Well, thank you.
I know. 20 years ago. A friend of mine from Collingwood told me about this call, and that's why I decided to get on it.
Well, great.
I'm a little tired of, I guess, doing the same things in real estate. I just wanted to have fresh input, and I've got about 10 more years to work. And I want to retire well. I ski a lot, golf a lot, and love to travel. So now I need one more push for the next 10 more years.
Or one more attraction for the next 10 years.
Yes.
Skip the pushing. The pushing is what makes you tired. And so you've got the lifestyle. Now you want to make the money to continue living it into your retirement.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is your question for tonight, my dear old friend?
My question is, how do I look at real estate with a fresh eye?
Well, you've got to ask yourself.
Since you have a lot of...
Yeah, the first question you've got to ask yourself is, are you still passionate about it? All right, see,
yes,
it's what you know how to do, but are you still passionate about it? See, the passion is the fire in your heart. And if you don't have the passion is what exudes your essence, who you are. Passion is contagious. And when people say that, again, I'm going to go back to some of the brain research and the quantum physics research. Every single person who's listening, all we're made up of is energy, this thing called energy. And this thing that's called energy vibrates based on the thoughts that we have in our brain. The thoughts determine the energy field that we emit from us and what we attract to us. So if you don't have passion and there's no purpose behind it, guess what? You'll do okay, but you're not going to do great. So the first thing to ask yourself, everybody on this call, if you're not passionate about what you do, stop it already. You're trading your life for what you do, and your life is too important. So if you're not passionate, the first thing you've got to do is ask myself, would it make any sense for me to do something different? And the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have doubts and fears and anxieties. Oh, my God, I don't know how to do anything different. That's not the question. If I could do something different that I was passionate about, would I? And so if you still have some passion, then it's a function of creating a new vision and helping you with your strategies and tactics and making sure you've got the right support.
I still love to put people in families in their home.
Then you've got to look at a new vision, make sure your strategies and tactics are in line, and then make your mark.
All right. Thank you, John.
Nice talking with you again.
Okay.
Bye. One more call, please.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Our next question comes from Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good. Where are you from and what do you do?
Good. My name's Chris Brown. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'm a commercial and voiceover actor.
Oh, good. I was actually just talking to Ellen DeGeneres today.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I saw the show. It was a great show.
Thank you. She's become a friend. We did a little training for her company when I was there with Bob Proctor, and it was lots of fun. We had a great time with her. Taught me a lot about Hollywood.
Yeah, there's a lot to know, I'm sure. My question is, it's kind of going on the last caller. I currently work in entertainment, but I have a huge passion to start an idea that I have to start a production company helping young people through entertainment. So kind of like one of the former callers, I don't necessarily have the company started as of yet, but it's a passion. It's something that I really want to do by combining my connections and things like that with entertainment to help young people.
Right.
And that's part of the business plan that I have. Would the Business Mastery Program be something that I would do or would help me in actually getting that started? Because I would be starting from ground one.
The answer is you'd be nuts not to if you were serious about really doing what it takes and devoting the time to it. Now, I want everybody on this call to hear me out here. Okay, what we're going to teach each one of you, okay, is simple. It's not easy, though. It's simple. It's not easy. There's a lot of moving pieces. If you want to make $100, $200, $500, $1 million a year, if it was easy, don't you think everybody would be making it? And so I don't have any challenge with somebody who is serious about a business that they're really going to say, okay, I'm going to start this. I'm going to do this. Now, show me how I should be thinking. Show me how to rewire my brain. Show me how to create the neural circuits in my brain so I'm attracting what I need, okay, that I'm in the right vibration, and show me the right step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. If you're going to take action, then do it. If you're not, here's what's going to happen. You're going to sign up. You won't do it. You're going to ask for your money back. You're not going to be happy. I don't want to give you your money back. I'm just kidding about that. The idea, obviously, is that we want people to take action. The only thing that yields results, it's great to be in the right vibration, but if you're going to create a vision, if you're going to have some prayers for potatoes, okay, you better get a hoe ready. Okay, and so if you're going to really do it, and that goes for anybody on this call, if you are really serious about taking your life and your business, or take your business to the levels that you want it to so you can finally have the financial freedom to do what you want, then 2007 can be your best year ever. But you're going to have to do the push-ups. You're going to have to do the lifting. We'll guide you. We're business advisors. We're not going to build it for you. We'll guide you. Do this. No, don't do that. You'll break your neck doing this. Do this. Think this way. Market this way. Strategize this way. Plan this way. If I could get every single person on this call to listen to us just 1 hour a day for the next year, 1 hour a day for the next year is all I ask you to commit to. At the end of that 1 year, you'll have given us 9 40-hour weeks of your time. That's 1 hour a day times 365 is 365 hours. If you do your math, that's the equivalent of 2 months for us to help you work on you and your business. If you do more than that, you'll go through the stratosphere. See, the only reason that you should be in business is because it allows you to express yourself, your passion and your love, in such a way that you feel your life has meaning and purpose and joy, and you can then exchange what your products or services are for that green paper with ink on it, which people are more than willing to give you if you can help them do and get what they want. Our passion is to help people grow their businesses so you can have what you want. We get tons of referrals from our, we've got doctors, lawyers, real estate developers, artists, athletes as clients, because the fundamentals are the fundamentals and the foundation is the foundation. There's nobody on the planet who's combined the best of quantum physics, the best of the brain, the best of understanding how to set goals and achieve goals, and the best of strategies and tactics and offer the support system we have. Nobody's done it. Nobody's ever had to. Marie and I didn't have to. We wanted to. And so in closing, I just want you to know that, yeah, we've got it there, but don't join if you're really not going to use it, okay, because you'll be frustrated. And so if you're going to make a commitment to your success, then I say get on the phone, join tonight, and don't look back. Strong leaders and strong people make decisions quickly, and they change them slowly. And people who hesitate are always worried about, well, what if it's not going to work? What if this? Well, we've got the guarantees to eliminate that challenge. If you're serious about your business and your life, then make a decision and make a commitment to give yourself the best gift you ever gave yourself, and that's the gift of somebody who's already done it that's willing to help you. What you'll save yourself will be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes and lost opportunities because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know which way to go first. We've spent millions of dollars, millions, in marketing. Every year we spend millions of dollars in marketing in our collective businesses. We spend millions in mistakes, millions in learning opportunities. We can shortcut the circuit for anybody, and that's what we do. And so with that said, Mike, I'm going to give it back to you. I hope you guys, I love this stuff, and there's nothing that gives Marie and I and our entire team at One Coach, we've got about 20 of us here. We'll be at about 30 or 40 very shortly. Nothing gives us more joy and more passion than to help entrepreneurs and small business owners, professionals, really just get it. Where the light goes on and go, oh, my God, I didn't know that's what I should be doing. Well, that's okay. Now you'll know. So with all of our passion and love, thanks for listening. We'll bring you more good stuff each week. And tell your friends if you've enjoyed what we're doing.
Well, thank you again, John, for such incredible information. And, hey, just like John said, everybody, if you are ready to make a decision to take your business and yourself to the next level, you can do that by going to www.onecoach.com/1214 and enroll today. And for everyone that goes to that URL and enrolls today, we will extend the guarantee through the end of our upcoming live event in February, which is the Mind Marketing in Millions event. So treat yourself to that. You have absolutely nothing to lose, and that's onecoach.com/1214. And if for some reason you do have a question about the Business Mastery Program and you weren't able to ask it this evening, you can email that to questions@onecoach.com. That's questions with an S. So send your name, your phone number, and the best time to reach you along with your question, and we will get back with you tomorrow. And I really want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I know the information is phenomenal. I hope you certainly got a lot out of it. John, thank you for the life-changing information you've provided. And I look forward to meeting each and every one of you at our next Mind Marketing in Millions event. So have a great night. We'll open up the lines here and just let everybody say good night. And thank you very much for joining us. Good night, everybody. The line should be open.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
For joining us.
Good night.
And thank you.
Good night, all.
And Feliz Navidad.
Happy holidays.
Bye from the UK.